Most people spend years trying to change and never figure out why they keep failing. This video will fix that permanently. In 2003, a young man named James Clear was struck in the face by a baseball bat during practice. The impact was so severe, he stopped breathing twice. His skull fractured. Doctors were not sure he would recover fully. He spent months relearning how to walk, how to function, how to simply exist without pain. But during that long, slow recovery, he discovered something. He had nothing but time. And in that time, he started building tiny habits, sleeping well, eating carefully, showing up to the gym even when it felt pointless, 1% better every single day. Years later, he became an all-conference athlete, not because of talent he was born with, because of a system he built from nothing. That system became one of the most important books ever written on human behavior. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why your habits keep failing and the precise system to build ones that last for life. Atomic Habits was written by James Clear and published in 2018. Clear is not a psychologist or a neuroscientist. He is someone who had to rebuild himself from scratch. The book draws on decades of behavioral science but speaks in the language of real life. It sold over 15 million copies because it does not inspire you. It explains you. Here is the most important idea in the entire book. You do not need to be more motivated. You need a better system. Imagine two basketball players, same talent, same goal. Make the team. One player visualizes winning every night. The other simply shows up to shoot 200 free throws every morning. After 1 year, the second player is unrecognizable. The first player had goals. The second player had a system. Clear argues that goals are temporary. Every person who wants to lose weight has the same goal, but only some of them actually change. The difference is never desire. It is always design. A goal gets you started. A system keeps you going long after the motivation disappears. That is the atomic in Atomic Habits. Not small as in unimportant. Small as in the fundamental unit of something enormous. Lesson 1. In 1999, a researcher named William Foster conducted a study at a hospital in Scotland. Patients recovering from hip and knee surgery were given a simple task. Write down exactly when and where they would exercise that week. Not why, not how much, just when and where. Patients who wrote it down recovered twice as fast as those who did not. The insight is identity. James Clear argues that lasting habit change is not about outcomes. It is about who you are becoming with every action. The patients who wrote things down were not just following instructions. They were voting for the identity of someone who recovers, someone who shows up. Every habit is a vote cast for the person you want to become. Cast enough votes and the identity becomes real. Stop asking what you want to achieve. Start asking who you want to be. Lesson 2. Anne Thorndike, a physician at Massachusetts General Hospital, wanted her patients to eat healthier, but she did not lecture them. She did not create a wellness program. She simply rearranged the hospital cafeteria. Water was placed at eye level in every refrigerator. Sodas were moved to the bottom. Healthy snacks were placed at the checkout counter. Within 3 months, soda sales dropped by 11%. Water sales rose by 25%. Nobody changed their values. Nobody increased their willpower. The environment changed, and behavior followed automatically. Clear calls this environment design. We believe we make conscious choices. In reality, we respond to whatever is most visible and most convenient. Put your running shoes next to your bed. Place a book on your pillow. Remove every obstacle between you and the habit you want. Make the right choice, the obvious choice. Lesson 3. In the 1990s, a man named Jerry Seinfeld hung a large calendar on his wall. His goal was simple. Write jokes every day, and every day he did. He drew a red X over that date. After a few days, a chain formed. After a few weeks, the chain became something he refused to break. He did not think about being funny. He did not wait for inspiration. He just protected the chain. Clear calls this the habit tracker. Progress is invisible until it becomes visual. When you can see a streak of successful days, missing one feels genuinely painful. But Clear adds one crucial rule: never miss twice. Missing once is human. Missing twice is the beginning of a new habit, the habit of quitting. Track your habits, make your streak visible, and if you break it, return the very next day. Lesson 4. A woman named Gabrielle Hamilton wanted to become a chef, but she could not afford culinary school. So she took a job washing dishes in a restaurant kitchen. She watched everything. She absorbed everything. She never once thought of herself as a dishwasher. In her mind, she was already a chef. She was just working her way to the surface. Within years, she opened one of the most celebrated restaurants in New York City. Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. When starting any new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to begin. Not because 2 minutes is the goal, but because starting is the hardest part of anything. You do not need to meditate for an hour. Just sit down and close your eyes for 2 minutes. You do not need to write a chapter. Just open the document and write one sentence. The session will extend naturally once you have crossed the threshold of beginning. Make it so small you cannot say no. Then let momentum take over. Lesson 5. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner conducted experiments with pigeons and random food rewards. When rewards came unpredictably, sometimes after 1 peck, sometimes after 10, the pigeons became obsessed. They could not stop. The unpredictability made the reward more powerful than certainty ever could. Clear uses this to explain why habits that feel immediately rewarding are the ones that stick. The brain does not respond to future benefits. It responds to immediate feedback. This is the cardinal rule of behavior change. What gets immediately rewarded gets repeated. What gets immediately punished gets avoided. Attach something you enjoy to the habit you need. Listen to your favorite music only while exercising. Drink your favorite coffee only while reading. Make the habit feel good right now, not someday. Immediate pleasure teaches the brain to return. Lesson 6. A Japanese manufacturing concept called Kaizen changed the entire global economy. After World War II, Japanese factories were in ruins. American consultants were brought in to help rebuild. They introduced one idea: small, continuous improvement every single day. Not dramatic overhauls, not revolutionary breakthroughs, just slightly better today than yesterday. Within 30 years, Japanese manufacturing became the most efficient in the world. Companies like Toyota built empires on this single principle. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Every habit you build goes through a long invisible phase where nothing seems to be happening. The ice cube sits at 31 degrees, no melting, no visible progress. Then at 32 degrees, everything changes at once. Most people quit during the plateau. They work for weeks, see nothing, and conclude that they are the problem. But the work was never wasted. It was always accumulating beneath the surface. The results were simply waiting for the right moment to appear. Stay patient. The compound interest of habits pays out, but almost always later than you expect. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. There is a village in Kenya called Eldoret. It has produced more world-class marathon runners per square kilometer than anywhere else on Earth. Scientists have studied the genetics, the altitude, the diet. But the real answer is simpler. In Eldoret, running to school is just what children do. It is not a sport. It is not a discipline. It is simply identity. They do not decide to run every morning. They are runners. Running is what runners do. That is the final lesson of Atomic Habits. You do not need more motivation. You do not need a better goal. You need to become the kind of person for whom the right behavior is simply natural. Build the system, design the environment, cast the votes, and one day, without even noticing, you will look back and realize the person you always wanted to be has quietly arrived. Next, a book about why your own brain might be working against you. Stay curious.